All right, so over the course of these next, I guess, 57 minutes, I'm just going to give you a rundown of what we hope to accomplish. First of all, we're going to start out by giving you sort of like a model garden pitch. We're going to have like a dialogue, myself and Eric. And so we kind of want to get you guys' input on what you see and where some of the dynamics of the conversation that we had regarding the actual pitch. And then next, we're going to be looking at what are the key components of a good garden pitch. From there, we're going to go over a clear pathway to membership, the importance of bylaws. We're going to bring up some common scenarios that we often encounter with people that are interested in the garden. And then we're going to give each of you guys a chance to work on your own garden pitch. And we're going to have you guys actually share with the group. And then we're going to go on to focus on how this pitch can be used in different contexts. Say, reaching out to local electeds or writing a grant, things of that sort. And then we're going to conclude with some questions and a closeout. So without any further ado, I guess we're going to go ahead and sort of model sort of like a common scenario that you would find for those that are passing by and interested in the garden pitch. Or join the garden rather.
Well, thank you, Jendu. And before we start the really quick modeling, just why is it that we actually want to have what we're about ready to do here? And the why reason for doing a sidewalk garden pitch is because our gardens need more members. We can always have more members inside of our garden. And there is a public perception that these gardens, our gardens, are private spaces, and we have to unhook from that perception going on there. And also, you know, this is New York City. It might actually be North Carolina as well, but there is a fear of strangers, and we need to overcome that as well. So given that, what we're going to do right now is model a really quick pitch from a gardener. I'll be playing the role of a gardener, and Jendu is going to be playing the role of an interested passerby from the sidewalk, asking what's going on over here. So this is what this is all about. And take it away, Jendu.
Okay. Hello, sir. How are you doing? I've been noticing you've been doing some work here in the garden, and I'm just happy to see that there's some life and vitality taking place in this garden space. I've been here in the community for some time, and you know, the pandemic was really hard for me, and I found that one of the things that really helped me to stay sane was the walks I'd take at the Bramble in Central Park. And seeing that you're here in this space, I noticed that, well, we actually have a green space right here in the neighborhood. So how can I get involved?
Hi, thanks for asking. This is a Green Thumb community garden. It's basically stewarded by volunteers, and it's and you're feel free to come on in and look around and walk around. It's a public space. If you want more information, here is a handout that you can have for more information and contact info about us, and feel free to look around. And if you want, you can sign our guest book. That's right over here. If you want more information, and someone will come on in and we'll contact you. So yeah, feel free again to come around, come on in, look around. If you've got more questions, I'll be here in the garden, and you can ask me. So thank you very much. So I'm moving off to my gardening.
I have a question, sir, before you leave. So when I become a member, how do I get a key? to the garden?
Okay, so we do have a set of bylaws that show you a pathway to membership. If you want to get into that, we can show you just what our membership procedures are as to how someone comes from a waiting list into membership. And there are certain things that we have to do inside of our particular garden here. And signing up, asking to become a member is step one.
Okay,
So,
could I have do you have a sheet or handout where I could have more information that I could follow up on?
funny that you should ask. We have a handout sheet here. It's called Welcome to Our Garden. And
Oh,
this handout sheet here, I don't know if I can focus on that, but it will be in the chat. We'll show you your membership pathway, what sort of items are necessary to maintain your active membership, spring, fall, winter maintenance, events planning, and long-term projects, volunteer days, and contact info for our membership coordinator, and with phone number as well.
well,
So
thanks so much, Mr. Tolman. Look forward to getting involved.
no problem. Thanks for asking. All right. I'm going to mute myself and pass the mic back over to Agenda.
All right. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. We actually have a tip sheet that I would like everyone to check out. It's also going to be in the chat. So let me see here if I can. Okay, so this is sort of like a tip sheet that us community engagement coordinators, actually 9 of us that cover all 5 boroughs, came up with. And basically, it's sort of like a nutshell of what we feel is pertinent information that passersby need to know that are interested in becoming members. So, so what are the components of a good garden pitch? First of all, what we really can't emphasize enough is the importance of the garden having a very strong and well thought through garden mission. What does a garden group see is the common vision that they want to sort of unveil to the community, which makes them relevant for the greening and gardening needs of the community. And also, based on that mission, how people can be involved. It's also important that some of the key features of the garden, herb garden, vegetable garden, maybe some of the furnishings like gazebos, special events are highlighted so that people can see based on their skill sets or based on their interest, how they could actually play a crucial role in sustaining the garden space. And also just giving them the opportunity to step in and look around and just kind of, see what, piques their interest and sort of gives them an idea of how they can be involved. It's very, very crucial. So yeah, and then we also have some nonverbal cues, which Eric will highlight on.
Yes, nonverbal cues are really important to your garden. You're trying to get strangers into members. Remember, that's our key goal. Have people come on in, show them there's a clear pathway to membership, and you can actually become a member of this garden. So a chalkboard out in the front with an inviting message, like it could be try our garden mint, or simply put, simple thing, the garden is open, the gate is open. Just put that out on a chalkboard. You can, each member can do what they feel is an inviting sign. The smiley face is often good. Eye-catching signage with information about what's going on in the garden. Social media addresses is a really good way to go. Upcoming volunteer days is really great. And also an easy to find sign up form or even a guest book is really, really great. So these are some of the nonverbal cues that you can use. Also, another thing is having a friendly gardener in the garden, welcoming them in with a wave. An introduction is really highly important, and having that come in as opposed to in a closed gate and a garden that is littered with unkempt, littered, and overgrown with weeds is not an inviting verbal cue in there. So, so that's just some of the things that we can go through. We also want to do have that gardener should have what is a clear pathway to membership. So you want to, again, try to get this stranger from stranger to membership. And that person should have a layout for how to become a member to the garden. So these are things that will work. There can also be, people will know if they're being asked to join this organization, what are the bylaws? What are the bylaws for this particular garden? So if you have a set of bylaws out there with a clearly focused mission statement, that will let them know just what this group is up to and about. And so that's just some of the components to a good garden pitch. I'm going to turn the mic over to Agendu, who's going to go over some common scenarios that you as a gardener in the garden might come across with strangers walking into your garden asking around. All right, go ahead, Agendu. It's all yours.
Okay, so I'm kind of going to call on some of our members out there who possibly have encountered some of these scenarios. And as we know, green spaces or even open spaces in New York City are highly coveted. And, you know, since we come from all walks of life, many times the general public has different ideas of what that open space should offer or that green space should offer. So basically, I just want to present some scenarios that I often come, you know, upon, or also gardeners have mentioned that they also encounter in the spaces. The first of which is an individual who may have passed some other gardens that need some assistance in following their mission, and ask, so, you know, I noticed that you have this open space here, and I know that I have open space in my community, and I've often paid one of my friends here to have the space. And so, how much do you charge to actually to have the space for the afternoon or the evening? And I kind of want to open up. Has anybody encountered this, and what kind of response would you sort of give to an individual who wants to have the space, so to speak? If you want them to understand what membership entails. Anybody in the chat want to sort of?
I have something. There's nobody else does.
Mm.
I've had people come by, this is Devaney, and say, oh, I've been coming by, noticed this is a garden. I've come by a couple of times and I've chatted with a few people. And I just, you know, I want to know if I could come in and just sit, and, you know, they start off like that and say, oh yeah, welcome. We do allow people to come in and sit. Then they say, well, you know, but they don't really mention membership, but you know, I said, you know, membership is simple. We grow communally. We grow for the food program. We grow for the volunteers, and we grow for the community, depending on how much food we have. And really, we just need help. People to come in. If you want to come in and sit, you could help. You could water. It's not so hard. Or if you have time and you want to say you want to come on a Sunday or something, sit an open hour, We appreciate your help. And they'll say, okay, but I don't have any time to help. So then I'm like, well, I don't know, well, you could come and sit, and then they'll say something like, well, I have a project, or I want to have an event. So it's like kind of like they never really come straight at you. So then I'm kind of like, kind of lost for words, because I've already told them, what our mission is. We go for the community, we go for the volunteers, we go for our food program. You're welcome to come and help and join. All we ask is that, you pitch in and help. And I've given them the simplest options. Like, you can come in, you can water some plants, you can enjoy the space. Just give us like a time frame that you think you would want to be here, and then, you're in.
Mhm.
And I don't, because I'm trying to make it as simple as possible.
No, I think you laid everything out perfectly.
I'm inspired by your tip sheet and your talk, because you make it sound really good. That's the only reason why I muted. I was like, yeah, maybe I could try again, because I don't have a printout. And I was like, I got to make one of those. So, I mean.
So yeah, they could actually take it home with them. And if it looks like that, they really want to commit to being a part of the collective that helps maintain the space, they'll get back to you. But if not, they won't,
But I think that,
So
like, sometimes, like you said, the example you just used, like, they came straight at them with an event, but people don't often come straight at you with an event. They come in like they want to be a part, but then they start to hedge, and then they jump to I really just want to use it for an event. Or I'm looking for a place for my children to run and play. And we're like,
yes.
yeah, you can't just drop your children off, because this is a garden. We have rose bushes and raspberry bushes, and I can't watch your kid if he turns around and tries to eat one of these weird berries off the bush. I can't take that responsibility. We got berries growing in the weeds that look like raspberries. Fooled me a couple of times. Look like strawberries. I don't know what those berries are. We got those other berries that grow that, the ones they say are supposedly poisonous. I don't know. So I can understand what you're saying, and it really sounds helpful, the tip sheet. But I basically say to people that the easiest way to get in, you could come in and sit. Oh, you could come in and sit and enjoy the space if somebody's here. We don't prevent anybody. If you want to come on your own time, well, we have easy. You could come in, just have to volunteer to do some work and just watch the garden. So when people come in, they're not doing anything to hurt the garden or to hurt themselves.
Thank you very much. So I have another scenario. So my name is Jesse, and I'm part of this newly formed group called Culture with a Purpose. And basically, we really want to make culture, the vocal piece for, what we as a community demand and what we stand for. And our group is just starting, and what we're looking for is 5 garden spaces where we can set up camp. And we could really, reach out to the community, and we can get involvement. We're also artists, we're into poetry slams and, things like that. So how can we kind of, have a commitment from you guys, since this is an open space, for us to actually accommodate, our programming and our mission and what we want to accomplish for the community? Could you let me know how, we can have access to your space for our project? Anybody care to want to jump in and help me out with that?
Hi, this is Justine Roper. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Yes, good afternoon. We have had situations like that, and we have a children's garden. It's in Brownsville, Brooklyn, and we have a lot of events, at the garden. We have had situations like that where, groups wants to come in and they want to do different events at the garden. Even though we are an open space, we are pretty much concerned, because since we are a children's garden focusing on children, families, adults, seniors, we try to be a little bit more mindful of, who we actually
I really like that, how you kind of refocus on your mission and your vision that you've set forth, many years in the making for the garden, so that they know that there is a purpose. You guys have, come together and decided that that's, as a group, what you want the garden to be about. I feel that's crucially important that you reiterate that.
Thank you.
I want to
So-
jump in here really quick and highlight this comment that Sage made in the chat. That also kind of speaks to the scenario that Ajendi brought up, where they wrote, Children's Magical Garden in the Lower East Side has had groups ask to volunteer alone, or soil groups utilize our space to practice during our non-open hours. We typically allow these people to join the garden alone after a time of becoming acquainted to other members and ensuring they understand the rules of our garden.
That's great protocol. So I have one more scenario.
Can I ask a question though, before you change the subject a little?
Yes, absolutely.
I like the comment, get acquainted with the gardeners, but is anybody saying that about the group work effort to maintain the garden to these people? Is that like a part of the conversation?
For us specifically, it depends. Like the soil group space that is asked to use our space is asking to kind of do like seed bombs and things that would just be beneficial to the garden. A lot of volunteer groups in the past have wanted to do, there'll be like work groups that just want space alone outside of work. Sometimes we'll have a member there, or if this is a work group that we've worked with a couple of times in the past, and we know that they're okay to be in the garden alone and have a key to come in, they'll typically be able to take on work for the garden. So usually all of this is to also benefit our space and is equally as beneficial to us as it is to them.
Like that. Thank you very much for that follow-up. So the last scenario is, walking by the garden, and I notice, beautiful open space, beautiful garden, and I'm a dog walker, And I noticed, this is open space and I have two very friendly pit bulls. And I would love to come in and, while I'm there, they can kind of run around. And so, so yeah, I would love to frequent and visit your garden. One of your hours, so I could actually schedule my dog walk around that time. Anybody have any follow-up to that?
Hey, I'm really glad that you want to enjoy the space and we'd love to have you here. Unfortunately, we don't allow any unleashed dogs to run around. This is a garden space, not a park. You're welcome to visit with your dogs on leashed and enjoy the space that way. There is a park across the street that may be better for your needs if you want to give them exercise, or there's a dog park 2 miles away from here. But this is a growing space and a community space, and we want everyone to feel safe and secure.
Got it. Okay. All right, so I'm just gonna just give one chance for someone who is a gardener to present a scenario that they have faced, and we can kind of open it up.
Excuse me, I don't have a scenario, but I was in a garden yesterday and they told me that they just opened up new membership and the members, a couple of the members that joined have dogs. So now they're already members and they're like, oh, I'm so happy now to be a member because I can come and I can let my dogs run and they enjoy getting all their exercise running around the garden. I mean, just yesterday I was in the garden visiting and they told me that, and when the member said, if nobody else is there, I guess they feel it's okay. And they said, no, your dog has to stay on a leash and only stay towards the front part of the garden. And I was like, I know the dogs have to be on a leash, but I don't really know a lot about your rules. I just knew that they had to be on a leash. And I was like, it's almost kind of what you're saying, but now it's after the fact because the people joined the membership with the intention of allowing the dog space. And they didn't say that until after they had the members, after they became members.
Right. Wow. I like that you bring up, and this is real, many times people join and they're not totally transparent with the true reason why they're joining. So I feel it's very, very important in our spiel or our tip sheet to really kind of make sure that, based on their interest, which is something that contributes to the group, how they'll follow through with it and actually make sure that they pay or play a positive contribution. Because sometimes when responsibility is what kind of, people drop off when they know that they're responsible for shoveling the snow or, having to pick up or sweep up dog waste from the sidewalk in front of the garden. There's a lot of excuses that come up. So it's important, the mission, and also, them identifying, how they can contribute to the garden, which goes in line with the mission of what the garden hopes to accomplish.
This is Justine again. I have a scenario because someone came up to the garden and they presented this to us. So I'm going to tell you exactly what happened, and not what we decide, but I want the group to decide. About 2 weeks ago, someone came up to the garden and they said, oh, this is a beautiful garden. Are you part of it? I said, yes, I am. I said, but we also have a group here and we have a lot of things we do at the garden. I presented that. So this person said, do you grow food here? I said, yes, we grow food here. We grow food and we distribute it to the community, and some of the garden members, they take it home. And so the conversation went on. Would I be able to join the garden? I said, well, yes, you should be able to. We just want to know who you are. You can take one of our flyers, with you, and let us know. Write your name down on our logbook, our welcome book, and then that would be fine. So he said, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to tell you. Do you guys grow, since y'all grow food, can I also grow something here? I says, well, it depends upon what it is. Because we don't always accept something from the community because we have children, we have other people in the garden youth. So we basically have our own vegetables that we grow from seeds. So the person says, well, it's a plant and it would be fine, I wouldn't be a problem. So I says, well, what is it you wanted, to grow? He says, well, this is legal now, so not a problem. So he says, this person said, can I bring a marijuana plant here to grow? So I said, you're right, it is legal, but I'm not so sure it's legal I'm almost sure that it's not legal for some age group. It's more legal for older, but I didn't want to say what I said. But anyway, so this person asked, can I bring this plant here to grow? And I says, well, we'll look into that. So what does this group think I should have done with this?
Wow. Anybody off the bat want to answer that?
Well, I think you say no.
Prohibited, isn't
Yeah.
it? It's against
Yes,
our,
prohibited.
it's a violation of us, of our license to do
And
that.
greet them. Yeah, just say no. We can't do it. Sorry.
Right. There's a lot of regulations involving legal cultivation.
Wrong, yeah.
So
Definitely does, sir.
I wanted to say something. Hi, I'm Kalima Davis, Queens, New York, 50 Cent Garden. I wanted to say that I would most likely say that at our garden, we don't accept anything that may be hazardous to children or elderly, any hypnotics or any hallucinogenics or anything that may alter one's mindset. So that, of course, marijuana would fall under that category. And that would eliminate all drugs.
Okay. Right. And also, some people feel that, since times are different and it's legal, that, can I just, hang out, enjoy the garden and smoke in the garden? What are you guys' response to that? Since it's legal. Anybody have a clear answer?
This
to
is
that?
Devaney, and I would say, I would just like to bring up the point that we haven't had that problem, but our neighbors are lighting up frequently, and we smell it all day. So that's something we can't control.
Right.
And we're hard pressed because what can you say when you got a neighbor or multiple neighbors that are lighting up constantly, and the air is the air. That's the question I pose.
Yeah, but in terms of the garden,
Yeah.
there's no smoking in the garden. That includes tobacco, that includes whatever.
But
So,
all of us have had neighbors that, when they light up, if you happen to live here in New York, they
yeah,
light
it's
up
unfortunate.
everywhere, right?
And that is something that is an issue. So I think we do need to possibly look into, how to respond to that.
May I say something? I'm Miss Cox. I have children and I promote smoke-free environments because you want to have a garden that is completely smoke-free, and you never know if someone has asthma or anything. And you might grow herbs like lavender or basil, stuff that you would love to smell environmentally. And that stuff might damage plants as well. And secondhand smoking is twice as deadly as well. So, because my grandfather had throat surgery because of secondhand smoking.
Wow.
So you want to promote smoke-free environments because that's what gardening is to be in a fresh, clean environment, to be away from getting asthma, to enjoy smelling lavender or rosemary or anything that you grow.
No, I like that. And, it never hurts to approach these individuals, and just kind of maybe welcome them first and say, look, we really want to have this oasis. And this is what we're trying to do. I mean, you don't want to come out and cause a conflict. But, many times, even people that we might perceive as being hostile, once you really approach them in a respectful manner, many times they can accommodate, your ask and request. So it never hurts to approach people in a respectful manner. If, we're having issues like you stated with, smoking too close to the garden, especially when there's young people there or elders.
If I can jump in here and just trying to just steer this back to what the purpose of this this workshop is how to bring strangers into the garden and how to create a pitch. But on this marijuana issue, also the alcohol and smoking issue, you can easily simply throw the Parks Department and Parks Enforcement Patrol under the bus and just say that in New York City, Parks Department absolutely does not allow growing of marijuana in the gardens, nor does it allow smoking of marijuana, nor smoking of even cigarettes or drinking alcohol and tobacco in the gardens. And just end the conversation right there. Again, throw parks under the bus. This is rules that are being enforced in parks community gardens. So that's an easy way to end that conversation. They are really good questions that strangers may ask of you in your gardens. So I want to thank you. You're going to all catch those scenarios. So I want to thank you for those scenarios that may come on up.
All right, so we're going to turn it over to Mr. Tolman, who just gave us that expert advice. And I guess we're going to transition to actually working on our own garden pitch. So Mr. Tolman, if you could explain a little bit more about that.
Thank you, Ajendu. So you heard a pitch that we put together. There's a sample pitch. And what I'd like to do, imagine as you already are inside your garden and you have a stranger coming on by, what sort of greetings would you hand to them just to very briefly explain what this garden is about and end with some sort of an invite to them to become a member. And this pitch can be something as simple as something putting on like a 3x5 card. It's a very simple pitch. And may I invite each of you to put together a sort of a garden pitch to your garden and start it off with hi. And your first line will be, this is a Green Thumb community garden. And I'm going to let each of you put together a sample pitch. And we're going to give us 5 minutes just to write out a pitch for your garden to this stranger that's going to show them a pathway to membership and a little bit more about the garden. So I'm going to mute myself here, and we're going to let you have a little bit of writing time or chat time to put a pitch together. And then at the end of this 5 minutes, we're going to throw a couple samples out there and we can respond to those samples. All right. Okay, so you can put together your garden pitch now, and we'll be back inside of 4 minutes now. and see what we've come up with sample garden pitches. Put your creative writing hats on. Thank you.
Okay, you have a raised hand. Go ahead.
Okay, we have a raised
We
hand.
have-
Okay, so Miss
Hello,
Davis.
how are you? Yes,
Okay, so
Hi.
Miss Davis, thank you very much. So Miss Davis is the first one up with a raised hand. So do you want to give us your garden pitch?
okay, hopefully it's okay. Um, Hi, my name is Kalima. Welcome to 50 Cent Community Garden. Do you live in the neighborhood? Wait for their response. Then you let them know. This garden here serves the community. You're welcome to enjoy the beauty of the garden or become an involved member. Are you interested in gardening? And that'd be the end of that. Is that an okay pitch or no?
I-
Just,
I love,
That's excellent. Yes.
I love it. Okay. We're gonna have, we got another raise. We're gonna get one or two more, and
right.
we have a raised hand out here. Thank you, Miss Davis.
Yes, very much. I like how, short and to the point it was. It's very important also.
Okay, I would go, but I don't see a raised hand. This is Justine.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. All right.
Okay, mine's a little bit long. Okay, hi, welcome to Jessica Rewards Children's Garden. We are an environmental education garden focused on various types of gardening techniques, such as compost development, lawn care, tree care, tool recognition, etc. Our membership includes children, youth, adults, and seniors. We also work with various different organizations such as youth council, summer youth program, youth rap. We have various different type of activities for children, youth, adults, and seniors. We also have volunteers. We are nonviolent youth garden, and you are welcome to join us anytime. That's
Like
the
it.
end.
Excellent, excellent.
That was good, Ms. Roper. Thank you so very much. And
You're
again,
welcome.
at the end of your pitch, you should be allowing that stranger to come on into the garden and walk around. So, and try and get, if you could, your full, be able to put your pitch on a 3x5 card, something very, very simple. There was many details, and they're very useful, wonderful details, but it's not just one person that's doing this pitch. It's going to be able to hand this 3x5 card off to all your garden members and be able to run this pitch off. This is why it's got to be short, simple, and right to the point. So I think we've got time for maybe one more pitch. I see that's a hand raise, or that, so Ms. Flake, so here we have a raised hand showing up.
Was in fact a raised hand.
Oh, well, that was an applause. Okay. Oh, was that
Yes.
applause or raised hand?
It was applause, and then I found the raised hand and was immediately after.
Okay, the stage is yours. You're the
Sure.
last one here.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I have, hello, welcome to Children's Magical Garden. Green Thumb Community Garden has been open for well over 3 decades. We welcome everyone into our green space to enjoy the magic of what is Children's Magical Garden. We host weekly events dedicated to the environment and the arts, and encourage anyone with children, adolescents, or community members of the Lower East Side to utilize our space. We have monthly volunteer days on the first Sunday of every month. Our open hours are posted at our gate. For further events, you can stay updated on our Instagram, Facebook, emailing list, or contact Lizzie at Children's Magical Garden to get involved or donate to this not-for-profit.
Wow.
Beautiful.
That's great.
Yes.
Okay,
Really
so
like that.
that's really good. And I would say you can probably, as a stranger walking on by asking what's going on, you could probably even tighten that up even more. But
Mhm.
having a handout that you can hand to them so they can look that over with your contact info and your membership committee out there would be something that you might want to add to this as well. So that's a really great pitch there. So thank you very much. I'm going to turn this over to Agendu, who is going to show us what else this pitch could be used for. Go ahead, Agendu. I'm miking my.
Yes. Okay, no, I just also want to mention, all three of the pitches were excellent. And I feel that, it might be such that depending on the person, you would give a different type of pitch, but just, some of the key components that, this is the roadway to membership, but then also this space is open for you to enjoy. I noticed that was a key theme in all three of your pitches, which was very, very important. So also this pitch can be sort of catered to be effective in other contexts of support. The first I have here is writing grant proposals. Having the key components to this garden pitch could actually be useful in just kind of presenting, who you are and what you intend to accomplish and what your asks are for obtaining resources, through grant funding, which also would be equally useful in reaching out to local politicians and elected officials, letting them know, who you are, your common vision, and succinctly letting them know, how being a benefit to the community, they could actually contribute toward the betterment of the community by offering resources to help sustain and maintain your group. So I don't know what you guys, if you guys have any thoughts or if you guys have actually made pitches, similar pitches to local electeds, if you have any insights on that. But, those are just two other scenarios which I feel could be very useful in really properly articulating your sales pitch for the garden. Oh.
Thank you, Agendu. So we're coming to the close of this, but I'm going to ask the group, do we have any other questions that we might have? And did you get out of this workshop what you were looking for in terms of getting strangers into your garden? I'm going to open this up to a group chat, or you can raise your hands and we'll call on you. I'm seeing we have no questions out there amongst us. And but I really want to thank you so very much for joining this workshop in terms of how to get turning strangers into members in your garden. I really appreciate the time that you're spending over here with us.